Today it's a great day because Sahastrara Day and Mother's Day have come together. That's very such happening, I think. And that is what we have to understand, how Sahastrara and the motherhood go together. Sahastrara was definitely opened and mother had to do it. Because formerly those people who came on this earth tried to teach people about Dharma, to bring them to the central path, to the straightforward path of ascent. They tried everything. Whatever way they thought was good for a particular community, particular area, particular country. They talked about it and lots of books came out of it. But instead of all these books creating people of religious, spiritual, and a united nature, created people who were all against each other. Absurd, it's an absurd thing. But it happened. So all these books that were written, all this knowledge that was given, was all misused by human beings just to get their own power, I should say. So it was all a power-oriented, also money-oriented game going on. When we see the outcome of all these religions, we feel it's all empty. They talk of love, they talk of compassion, but it all is for a purpose. It is all a political game sometimes, because they still feel that they should have power. Not the spiritual power, but the worldly power, so that they can dominate the whole world. So this domination started working so much in the human mind that we had lots of wars, killings, all kinds of things. And when it subsided, I felt that now, maybe, opening Sahastrara might help people to see the truth. At the level of Sahastrara, you know the truth. So all kinds of illusions, all kinds of misunderstandings, all kinds of self-imposed ignorance, they all have to disappear. Because what you know is the truth. The truth is not sharp, it's not harsh, it is not something which is difficult to assimilate. People thought truth must be something that would be just very damaging, or could be very harsh, could create problems between human beings. We should not have. We should not have. It was not meant to be. But whenever they talked of truth, the people used it for a wrong purpose. It's something special about human beings that they start using things for a wrong attitude, for a wrong message, and try to use it for their own purpose. It's such a common thing with human beings that they want to have power over other men. Now, I've seen in my own country when people wanted to have separate nations. Those people who wanted to have separate nations actually did it, not to achieve anything great, but just because they can become, those people who wanted, for few of them, they'll become something great in their own country. So they never wanted to be in a country where they may not rise to that height. So then they separated those countries. And by separating, I have seen all these countries are suffering. Suffering very much. There's no growth, there's financial problem, all kinds of problems are there. And also the main country is suffering because they have now developed enmity, and all this is working out against the main country. So to have a separatist idea itself is against Sahaj. Say for example, a flower growing on the tree looks very nice. It develops there, matures there, and it produces seeds also. But supposing you cut the flower and take it away, then what happens? The tree loses the flower, no doubt, but mostly it is the loss of the flower. Now this they did, all of them. And when they did it, you see, what is the result? That people who tried to have their own country, their own domain, they were killed, murdered, abused, and some of them are in jail. So the attitude even outside Sahaja Yoga has shown that it doesn't help. So we must learn to be one. If after Sahaja Yoga, after your realization, if you do not understand this message, that we all have to be one single unit, one single body. If we cannot be, if we are identified with other things, then it's no way you have grown, you have not matured. A very important point on Sahastrara Day one has to understand, that all the 7 chakras have their pithas in the Sahastrara. All the 7 chakras. They are nicely settled down in the midriff of your brain. And they act through that area, wherever they are, on the chakras and work it out. Now all these 7 chakras become one, I should say, or go into union. Complete integration takes place in these centers. Because these are governed by these 7 main chakras, we can call them, you can call them by any name. And they govern all the other chakras. And because they are in union, completely integrated, that's why all your chakras are integrated. It's the pithas which are enlightened, I should say, by Kundalini, also blessed by the divine power, immediately become integrated. They say that like pearls in one string. It's even more than that. It's more than that. All these pithas within you get integrated in such a manner as if there's no difference in their manifestation. Supposing you have a chakra which is not all right, something wrong, physically, mentally, emotionally, whatever it is, the other chakras try to help this sixth chakra and try to evolve a personality of a Sahajogi in a way that he is integrated. Now, integration within yourself is very important. Unless until you are integrated within yourself, you cannot be integrated outside. And within yourself, the integration is such a blessing of Sahaja Yoga that a person who gets this realization becomes a personality which is above the normal personality. It is not attached to all the negative forces, the destructive forces. It just gives up so many things which normally very difficult to give up. All these 7 chakras that we have within ourselves are then guided by these pithas in a union. Just the help that comes from this union helps all the chakras to get completely integrated. As it is, we are not integrated because our mind goes on one side. Our body goes on another side. Our heart goes on another side. Our emotions are different. We do not know which is the right thing to do, what is the best thing to do. But after realization, in the light of the Spirit, you get the truth and you know what is to be done. For example, after self-realization, you can judge people on their vibrations. You don't have to use your brains for that. Just on your vibrations, immediately you know what's wrong with yourself and with others. So here it is a double correction. One is you see your own being, your own self, your self-knowledge comes to you. And secondly, you can also make out another person, what sort of a thing he is doing. If somebody is not Sahaj and claims to be Sahaj, you can easily find out that he is not Sahaj. His behavior is not Sahaj. So, best thing is for all of us is to get this integration absolutely working out within ourselves. We should not shun it, but we should accept that whatever defects we had, whatever wrong we have been doing, what wrong thinking we had, whatever destructive we had taken to, all this has to disappear because you are Sahajogis. Sahajogis have a special job to be done. They are not like other people who are just working for money, working for power, working for domination. You are not. You are working in Sahaja Yoga for the emancipation of humanity. So whole thing is that this Sahastrara is a global field where we enter in. We enter into a global field. And when we are there, we just become ourselves a global personality. So all these minor things like your race, your country, your religion and all these, which are artificial barriers between human beings, just drops out. And you become a realized soul and you know what is humanity. You understand the humanity. This has to happen in all the Sahajogis when they are together. They should understand that we are not no more ordinary human beings. We are special people chosen for a very special work, which is the most important thing today. Now, as you know what is going on in Kali Yuga, I need not describe all that to you. But what is the light of the Spirit which is going to show you what you can do to remove the ills of Kali Yuga? Starting right from yourself, you just see for yourself with great amusement what you have been doing was all stupid. You should not have done that, but you have been doing, so it's all right, you can forgive others who are doing it. And you will understand that those who have been doing it have been doing all this out of ignorance. But now you have your Sahastrara open. In the open Sahastrara, you are getting, or the divine is pouring its grace all the time. With that reception, with that, we should say, the nourishing of your Sahastrara, what happens is something really great. One thing happens that you get detached from yourself. You can see yourself. You can see your past. You can understand yourself that you have been doing so many wrong things and misunderstanding people. This sometimes takes you too far away from yourself. But once this light comes and the Sahastrara is nourished, in that light you see clearly what wrong you have been doing to yourself. Then as a person you can see your faults, but also you see the faults of your society where you live. I have seen immediately after people get their realization, they start telling me, Mother, I was a Christian, but see, this is Christianity. Somebody will say, Mother, I was very patriotic, but I see now what is patriotism is. Like everybody starts seeing its own background, its own styles in which he has lived, and just gets out of it. And once you are out of it, it's no more identified with you. And it's such a spontaneous happening. Only thing, you have to learn to be spontaneous. And that's what I find, that in search, people still, though they are out of this illusion, this ocean of illusion, still sometimes their one leg is still there in the ocean, and still they are pulling it out and pushing it back. That should not be. That is only because people don't meditate. Now to say you must meditate, people think it's a kind of a ritual or maybe a kind of a style of search. No. Meditation is for you to go deep down into yourself, to achieve all that your Sahastrara wants to give you, to achieve that height of detachment, of understanding, is only through meditation. So what happens in meditation is that your awareness crosses over Agya, goes above and is now stationed in the Sahastrara, in thoughtless awareness. Then the reality of Sahastrara, the beauty of Sahastrara starts pouring in your own character, in your own temperament. Unless and until you meditate. Not meditate just to get well or just to feel that I must meditate. But meditation is very important for all of you, that you develop your Sahastrara in such a manner that you imbibe the beauty of your Sahastrara. If you don't use your Sahastrara in this way, after some time you will find Sahastrara will close down, you will have no vibrations, and you will have no understanding of yourself. So very, very important thing is to meditate. I can immediately make out a person who has been meditating and the one who has not been meditating. Because a person who does not meditate is still thinks that, oh, it's all right, I am doing this, I am doing that. Meditation is the only way you can enrich yourself with the beauty of reality. There's no other way. I cannot find any other way but meditation, by which you rise into the realm of divinity. For example, I would say that myself, whatever I have done is this, that I have been able to find out a method how to give self-realization to masses. But that doesn't mean that if I give to masses, they are all search yogis. No. You must have seen whenever you have your programs, people get realization when I am there and they come to programs for a while and then they drop out. The reason is they have not meditated. If they had meditated, they would have known what is their quality, what are they. Without meditation, you don't understand what is best for you. So today is a day when you have to promise me that you will meditate every night, every evening, maybe in the morning also. Whenever it is possible, if you can go into meditative mood, you are in contact with this divine power. Then whatever is good for you, whatever good for your society, for your country, all is done by this divine power. You don't have to overpower the divine power. You don't have to order, you don't have to ask. Just if you meditate, you are one with this all-pervading power, which is another great blessings to us. Unless and until your Sahastrara is open, all the blessings of the divine power cannot come to you. Cannot. Maybe you might get some money, you might get some jobs, you might get this and that. But your own development is only possible when you meditate and your Sahastrara is completely open and open to truth. Now the truth is that this divine power is compassion, is love. This is the truth. They say God is love, God is truth. So the equation has to be made that truth is love and love is truth.